Sick cast.
Sick cast?
Yeah, our sponsor is CDC today. Because we're all fucking sick.
Hopefully they can find a
You're
cure
the sickest out of all of
before
us.
we all die.
I don't even know if I'm the sickest. I just have the worst voice right now.
All right, and welcome to the P3E first weekly
Music cast.
music cast.
It's going to be weekly.
Roll the bumper. That's where the bumper's going. And weekly, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
We're trying to make it weekly, if possible. But anyway, back to
Daily.
No, that would be
Not happening.
insanity. Yeah, that would be.
I don't have 3 hours every day.
We'd be listening to music 24 hours a day, 7 days.
Is that
a
a
week.
bad thing? Is it a bad
Twice
thing?
daily.
5 times daily.
Something like that.
I don't get how negotiation works.
I see.
Anyway. So, all right, the concept of this.
Okay. Oh, wait,
Was-
sorry. Did you want to explain?
Oh, if
No,
you.
no, no, no,
All right,
I
I
thought-
was like.
I thought you were going to explain it.
So, okay. So, a couple of weeks ago, Angelo and Garrett did this thing on the regular P3E podcast where they each exchanged albums of music that they listened to, and then they talked about it on the podcast.
You sound great, by the way.
Thank you.
You do. You sound lovely.
And then Chris and I, feeling a little left out on the podcast, we came up with the idea of why don't we all trade albums, and then we'll just have a separate podcast where we talk and review and criticize and make fun of each other's music and see if we like it. It's a way for us to experience different genres of music because we all like different genres, and it's a good idea, and it's going to be lots of fun.
Yes.
And we're going to start with Garrett's.
And yes, the order was predetermined, so we're going to start with Garrett. So Garrett, introduce us to
Something predetermined from this
Your
podcast. What a change.
album.
Okay, so mine,
Yes.
I picked a mix for mine. I picked the White Light Mix number 64 by one of my favorite musicians that goes by the name of RAC.
This is the story of Johnny Rock. It's better to burn up than it is to rust. The king is gone, but he's not forgotten. Hey, my.
Oh wait, are they located in the Retriever Activity Center?
Ha.
It's funny. Stands for Remix Artist Collective,
I
which
swear-
doesn't make sense because it's only 2 people.
I swear, every time I hear that name, I can only think of the rap.
That's what I
Like-
think. Yeah,
Yeah.
Me
that's
too.
what I think too. But anyway, what this whole website is, it's like you have one person or one DJ producer makes like a mix, and then he hands it to like someone else to do it. So it's like it's going on for how long? It's going on for 75 volumes. And so I picked number 64 from one of my favorite
well,
musicians,
there you
RAC. And so here's the description of the mix. This mix ended up being a lot of different things. There are mainly influences of mine, but arranged in a way that would flow. After a night out, the last thing I want to hear is more noise. These are my favorite sparse, moody, and beautiful songs. This is what I'd want to listen to. And the track listing has a bunch of artists that I've never heard of. There's Toro E. Moy, Hot Chip, Chromatics, Brazilian Girls, Surfer Blood, I have heard of them. Cornelius, I've heard of them. And Rivers Cuomo, the head singer of Weezer, one of my favorite bands. So that is the White Light Mix. I picked it because I found it to be very relaxing. I listened to this while I was taking notes one day, and I found it to be very calming and relaxing. I could focus on taking notes and still keep my sanity while doing so. So that's that. And it's silent now. Who wants to go first? I want to hear Angelo's. Opinion,
I'm
actually.
first?
You're first.
Oh, all
Because
right.
you have 7 words. I want to hear these 7 words that
I
you
have
wrote down.
7 words. Well, I mean, these are just words to remind me of things that I have. Like they have ideas connected to them.
Right.
So, well, the first thing was I was intrigued about the one track thing. It was kind of interesting. Like I had also given you one track on the first time, and so I came in. I was I was hesitant. I'm always hesitant when I'm introduced to new electronic music, but I felt it was a little repetitive at times. Not bad. Like again, it's a relaxing mix, which I did see. I did see the relaxation part.
Right.
I felt very relaxed. I wrote relaxing on here. See, there's a word.
That's one word.
That's one of
Relaxing.
the words. I actually wrote the word comatose on here because at one point
Wow.
I felt like I was comatose listening to you.
As in a good way or in a not so good way?
I don't know.
You
That
wrote
was
down
in the middle.
poop next to comatose.
Oh, there we go, right there.
No, I'm kidding.
No, but I
Is
did
that a
actually
drawing
enjoy.
of poop?
I actually liked they had what was the one song that was in there? The one that's like rock and roll, ain't gonna die or whatever. Like I forget what song that is.
I don't know.
But that one I really
tell
liked. And although my favorite part, which we're all going to say this because we actually before him we all mentioned this at minute 46, I swear it turns into elevator music. Not even going to lie.
It does.
It turns into elevator music. Luckily, it comes back, but there is a small point in time
Wait, you don't like elevator music?
where it turns into.
You don't like elevator music?
I can't tell if you're being serious right now.
I am being serious.
Elevator music
I'm a sucker for elevator music.
Elevator music is considered muzak. That's what they call it. It's muzak, meaning it's versions of songs that are like slowed down in order to calm people. Elevator
I find
music
it
is specifically made to calm people.
That's what I feel. I feel it's very calming.
I feel like you're in the minority for this, but all right,
Yeah,
Scott,
you're
take it
definitely
away.
in the minority.
Okay, I have very complex feelings.
Good.
Regarding
I
this-
like complex. Let's go with this.
Okay, when I was first listening to it, I was very hesitant because the beginning part's all instrumental. It's very like, I don't know, like beeps and bops, and I was like, this is gonna be horrible. This is gonna be the worst hour of my life. And then like when the actual like music started, when it started transitioning, I loved the transitions in the song. I liked all of the music. Basically, I basically fucking loved this mix. Is basically what I'm
No
saying.
way.
I basically like loved it legitimately. Like I'm writing down as I was listening
You
to
have
it.
so much written down.
I wrote down a lot. I wrote down every transition because I wrote down the transitions that I liked the most. I thought that each song kind of had like this bluesy, jazzy, like
There was a lot of
R&B.
folk in it.
There's a lot of folk in it. There's a lot of.
I stated before, I'm not a fan of folk music.
That is why I was
but
surprised.
I have faith in Andre's or RAC's taste in music. which
This is why, because I'm listening to it and I'm like, Garrett does not like folk music, and he doesn't like lyrics. I was like, this is all very like lyrics heavy, and it's very like there's a lot of folk music going on. It's not very EDM. It's very like, I don't know. It kind of has this old school style like rock, folks, bluesy thing.
Right.
And I really liked it, and I liked the idea of using different parts of different songs to kind of make one story or one message. Like, I don't know, like the first half, I definitely thought that like all of the music was trying to say something specific about like relationships and love in general, and basically about like the different stages that that take place in love, like when you're young, and then when you get older, and then when you get out of a relationship, and when you get into a relationship. But then I started to lose control of what I was trying to figure out the meaning was from this when they started coming in with like different languages. I was like, I don't know what the fuck is happening anymore. And then the elevator music came in, and I was kind of weirded out by that, but I liked it overall, and I'm definitely interested in looking at more mixes because I like this one so much. But I will say that I was very disappointed by the ending. I thought the ending could have been bigger.
The ending's more of what he's into.
Yeah, the ending's very
more of
subtle.
His style of it's very like synth wavy kind of stuff.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
it couldn't be too broad because it's supposed to be like a relaxing mix. I like I wish I had known the backstory going into it because I like how that whole thing of like it's kind of like you're coming back from the club, you want to listen to something, but you don't want to listen to something very
This
heavy.
is something that I would listen to if I was studying or if like I had a nice long car drive home. This would
I
be-
don't know if I'd listen to it behind the wheel of an automobile. I had a hard time keeping my eyes open. And again, that's not a bad thing. It's just it's a very relaxing song. It's very definitely listen to this maybe before bed or if you just, you need to clear your mind, I think that would be the best times.
Okay, my opinion was the exact opposite of Scott's.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I really did not like this at all.
Ooh,
Oh, snap.
explain.
Throw down.
It was too slow.
But it's supposed to be slow, though.
Even so, it was good for slow, but I hate slow music.
Oh, that's
You hate
it.
all slow music?
You don't like
Most-
anything
so
slow?
if it's a ballad, you're not into it.
Well, we'll get
Yeah,
into
pretty
that
much.
later.
That's a lot. That's a wide range of songs.
I don't particularly like slow music.
You don't like
there's-
slow music.
There's some that I do, but if it's slow, odds are that I won't like it.
This wasn't
Okay.
relaxing to you though, just listening to
It
this
wasn't
music.
soothing. I love this.
I don't listen to music to get relaxed, though.
Ah, that's what it is. So what's your primary use for music?
What do you want out of music?
Well, I like it. I like it to have energy and
Okay, because I don't have energy. Okay.
be more fast paced and
Continue.
You're just scribbling. Don't even try to fool
And
the
how does that
audience.
make you
Who
feel?
knows if the mic is even picking that up, by the way?
And how does that make you feel? Okay, but anyway.
but about 15 minutes in, I started losing focus and doing other things, even though the rule was not to.
By the way, the mic did pick that up.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so who's next?
Something.
I think that's.
Well, hold on, I still got something to say about
Okay.
this.
Oh.
Anyway, my problem, I don't understand these mixes though. Like my problem with it was that I don't understand how.
You don't understand the concept of a mix.
Not the concept of a mix, but how it is is it fair to the original songs
Ooh,
that they're
that's-
using?
that's a
That
good
was
point.
my problem
That's
with
a good
it.
point with a lot of
I think
remixes.
I think sometimes a lot of songs, and mind you, these are songs from a bunch of different artists that he picked. It's supposed to represent his taste or what he's trying to, convey. He said, "This is something that I'd want to listen to. These are my favorite sparse, moody, and beautiful songs." And I think he did. I think how he mixed it. I think how he arranged all the songs definitely helped to I think it helped complement it, easily transition from one to the other.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is, are these people getting the credit that they deserve, or is he getting the credit that they
Well,
deserve?
he puts the track listing right here. So if you want to put the,
Oh,
Is
that's
he
good.
making money off of this song?
is he making? I don't think so. I
Okay,
wouldn't
well then,
expect
it's not
him
a
to.
big
Well,
deal.
then it's good.
All
Then
of
it's
the
on-
music that he makes is free anyway.
Oh, well, there you go.
Some pretty good quotes from these that I liked. I like when it says "better to burn out than fade away." I like
Oh,
the song
I
that
heard
did
that, yeah.
And then I like
But
That's a
again,
good
that
line.
that line is from the song, from
Right.
the original song.
Right.
So,
And I also like, I don't want to grow old or stay young. I like the kind of just be in the moment kind of thing. I like that stuff.
And mixes aren't just they aren't just for a bunch of different artists. People make mixes of their own music too. Just cause.
oh, that song's called "Hey Hey My Into the Black," and that is a Neil Young song.
That's not on the track list
That's
for some reason.
that's why I recognized it, because they play that song on Attack of the '90s.
Are you sure it's that song?
Or no, I'm sorry, that was made in 1979. They don't
Into the Black?
Hey Hey My Into the Black.
Because it
That's
says Into the Black by Chromatics
'Cause that-
on this one.
really. Oh well, he might have been.
It might have been a
using-
cover.
Oh,
Or
it was a
something.
Yeah, it
cover.
might be the cover, but the original song is a Neil Young song.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, because wow, they have a lot of people did covers. Oh wait, well actually, Def Leppard uses "It's Better to Burn Out Than to Fade Away" in their song Highlander as well. I mean, not their song Highlander, Rock of Ages.
Apparently, everyone's using this line. Never mind.
It's a very
But it's a
very
good
popular
line.
line.
It's a good line.
It's a good line, and I also like the one about not growing
motherfucker.
old and not staying young. My question to you, Garrett,
Is what?
is: do you look for a deeper meaning in these mixes, like I did?
I used it to, well, not necessarily. I used it because when I was studying that one time, because I had 4 tests in 3 days, so I had to do some massive studying. So, but it was definitely something that helped me, get away from it was just silent library that I don't like. And I don't like just random noise when I'm trying to study. I think that's a little too distracting. But if I can settle my mind with some music, and I can focus on the music. Although I still paid attention to the song every once in a while, like that line that stood out in my head. zipped it back.
It's such
and
a great
played through
line.
it again.
People must really like that line. 'Cause it
Everyone
is used
uses
a
it
lot.
apparently.
But yeah, I like that song also because it's actually funny because you're not really into classic rock, but that song's all about how rock is always going to live on and how it's going to never die.
I don't know if I
out.
agree with that, but
That's what that song is about. That specific song. It actually says in the lyrics. It says
Well, I don't know if
rock
I-
and roll
I don't know
ain't
if I-
gonna die.
I don't know if I agree with that. Now I just dropped my mic. We need,
That's
better,
also-
we need better mic stands. Please donate
Donate
to our
to us.
PayPal account.
Yes, our non-existent PayPal.
On our non-existent
I'm
website.
gonna make it. I'm gonna make the PayPal account.
Yeah, well, we won't talk about that.
But
anyway,
I do like the idea of using sections of songs that
Well, they
mean
were-
something else as an individual song.
That's true.
And then you take those lyrics and you put them into like a mix, and suddenly it means something
yeah,
else.
that's true. Yeah, I'm not
Right.
saying it has to mean that. I just thought it was a little ironic. Am I using that correctly? In that Garrett likes a song that
That
has
is ironic.
lyrics about
Proper use
rock
of
and roll,
ironic.
and he dislikes rock and roll. Okay, I always
I don't
worry-
dislike rock
lyrics.
and roll. Anything past the 90s.
That's true. He also dislikes lyrics. Yeah, anything. He's like not a big '90s fan. Which, when we get to my album, my album was in
Behind
'96.
90s.
Yeah,
I'm all about 90s rock. That shit's awesome. This is
'90s rock is
Mike is
which
moving.
then you would love '98 rock on the weekends because they always do Attack in the '90s, and they play all '90s.
But yeah, thought it was a weird choice from Garrett, but I liked it.
It was weird, and I enjoyed it. I'd
Stand.
probably give it, if my rating scale is a clap
Oh, jeez.
being okay and snaps being
You copied
really
that
bad.
from you copied that
I am.
from
I'm
Stop
copying, it
copying
from
Conan.
I thought it was.
God
funny
damn it,
to-
Angelo! You're always copying Conan.
You're
This
copying
happened
from
when you
every
dyed your hair
sing-
red last week, and we told you the same thing.
But you know, I can't do any Conan impressions, so I'm just gonna stop right there before it gets bad. So who was next on the list?
You were next.
I was next. That's right. So we segue
Introduce
right
it.
in.
So what is yours?
So my album was Aerosmith's 12th studio album, that 9 Lives, which is a lovely little album released in '97. So it's right in that wheelhouse of the '90s. And it was their first studio album released by Columbia Records, and it peaked at #1 on the Billboard chart. So it was #1.
You could be my flamingo. 'Cause pink, it's a new kind of lingo. Pink, like the deco umbrella. It's king, but you don't ever tell.
Pink, which is probably one of Aerosmith's most well-known songs, won the Grammy that year for Best Rock Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocal.
That's interesting.
So, and I love this album as a whole. It's got a very Indian theme. Actually, a lot of the songs like 9 Lives, Taste of India, Hole in My Soul, Full Circle, they all have very like, you can tell there's like an Indian influence to it. And I think it's very diverse and it's very different from a lot of other Aerosmith tracks. So it kind of shows the diversity of the band. And so
Who
yeah,
wants to go first?
I enjoyed it.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay. So I found this album to be very boring.
Really?
First off, I didn't get a sort of Indian theme from it, with the exception of Taste of India. I think that was the only song that I really got its Indian sense from. That song had a good start, and then around the chorus, I just lost it. I liked the middle part around like 3 minutes, I think. Basically, any part that didn't have lyrics, I liked in that song. Hole in My Soul, I wrote down as very boring with the chorus. But I did like the fact that they did incorporate the Indian, like, I don't even know how to, the Indian instruments. And so they
Yeah, they
did
had a
little
sitar
jazz
in a
stuff.
few of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't like this album because it just too many ballads.
It's very ballad heavy.
I'm not a fan of ballads. As much as I like slow stuff, I can't.
No love for ballads
I
on
have
this
to be,
podcast.
but I have to be in a mood for a ballad, though.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be really in a mood for a ballad, and I was not in a mood for a ballad, and a lot of those songs were ballads.
That's
They
true.
were.
Sure, they are
Way
very
too many
ballady.
ballads for me.
But I love all these ballads. Like Ain't That a Bitch is really good. The Farm I like for the references to Wizard of Oz. Like that's probably the strangest song on the album.
The
but
Farm was my favorite track on this thing.
It is.
That
really
song
good.
is pretty awesome.
It's crazy and it's very drug heavy and very
drug heavy. I like the drug references.
I love the Wizard of Oz reference, and I love the kind of like the brief interlude where they like stop the music and you hear like the violins, like a full orchestra, and then it comes back in. It's very nice.
Yeah, I wrote down a lot of stuff about that song that was very like disturbing, and I like the use of the quotes weaved in with the music. I thought it was the most interesting song in the entire album.
What, The Farm?
The Farm, yeah. Like that was the one that stood out to me. I mean, there are a lot of good songs on this album, but a lot of them do blend together. They kind of sound the same, but yeah, The Farm I definitely like. I like this album overall. I mean, it sounds like my iPod because I have a lot of Aerosmith and classic rock stuff on it. So I mean, it wasn't too big of a jump for me from what I normally listen to. But
What did you think of Crash? Because that was actually the one song that I really liked.
Crash
It's
was
very
a good song.
fast.
Crash
It's
was-
probably
That's
the
what I liked
fastest
about it.
song on the album.
Crash was good.
It reminds me of like some of their other stuff.
That I
It's
wrote
actually very heavy,
yeah.
I think.
I wrote down that song had like a clear purpose. Like it was all just about like him having a mental breakdown, basically about like doing drugs and shit. And then it was like the music was getting faster as the song played. But it was great. It definitely accomplished what it meant to do.
One of my favorite quotes is in Attitude Adjustment when he just says "Excuse him, fucking moi." I just love that.
Attitude Ad Adjustment.
Adjustment, yes.
Ad.
The ADJ is in capitals. I feel like Fallen Angels is kind of out of place on this album. Actually, Pink also feels out of place on this album.
Yeah.
They don't really mesh with the other songs.
Fallen Angels was at a left field for me. I was like, what the fuck
Like,
is this?
I thought that it was out of place, but they're still good songs, but it seems odd that they're on this very, like, the picture of the cat on the front getting, like,
yeah, they're all like
shot
really
with
like
knives
in your
and-
face songs, and then like Fallen Angels is very like this serious kind of like somber thing. It was like the quote from that song was like, "There's a million tears that fill a sea of pain." Like that's one of the quotes from Fallen Angels. And then you go to Pink, and I wrote down my favorite quote from Pink, which "You could be my flamingo," which I just I fucking love that line. It's
I
so
wonder how long
silly.
it took him to come up with everything that's pink. Like he's like, what? How many things can I make pink? Oh, and he wants to wrap his lover in rubber.
What other animal?
Which I think is a
naturally
Yes, I also read that down.
pink? Is there any other animal that's naturally pink?
Pink? Well,
Hippos?
flamingos aren't even naturally
Hippos.
pink. Ugh. Flamingos aren't even naturally pink. They come out white, but then because they eat a lot of shrimp, they turn pink.
Because they eat a lot of shrimp. So if I eat a lot of shrimp, I can be pink.
No, I don't think that's how it works. I think it's because it's the way that the flamingo's body works.
So it literally
That it
is
turns
like
pink.
you are what you eat.
Yes, in a way.
So if they ate a bunch of oranges, they would be orange.
I don't know if it works like that. I
Okay.
think there's more science to it than that.
Okay, I actually did like this album, even with all the ballads,
Oh.
because with an album like this, when track divisions are clear, if there are a few songs that I really like,
Mm-hmm.
then the album is pretty much worth it for me. Like, I love 9 Lives, I love Taste of India, I loved Crash, I like The Farm. Falling in Love was good too.
I majored in love, but in all minor keys.
'Cause falling in love is so hard on the knees. I love that song. That is a good song. I actually wore it out a little bit at one time because I'd listened to it so much. I had to give it a break. But
I do that with a lot of songs.
actually, it's funny that it's odd what songs they picked for singles. Falling in Love, that's a good one. Hole in My Soul, they've really wanted to push Hole in My Soul, and I agree with you guys. That one's probably the most boring song on the album. For every love letter written, there's another one burned. I like that
I wrote
one.
that down.
Pink is a great song. Again, out of place, but I really liked it. What do you think of Pink, Garrett?
That's
Garrett's
my least
not-
favorite song.
Really?
Which
Why?
is, I looked it up on iTunes. That's the most popular song.
Oh
on
yeah,
iTunes.
that is. It
I-
won the Grammy.
hate that song.
I didn't
Why?
like Pink.
It's just so boring, and the repetition of Pink. It's like when he said Pink Flamingo, I'm like, okay, I'm done with.
But
this
it's so
song.
fun. I wrote down that this song is
Yes.
ripe for parody.
It-
So I say that P3E
It is.
does Pink
It's very
parody.
ripe for parody. I don't think it's relevant anymore, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like...
Oh, do we have a new thing where we want to be relevant?
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
that's
realize.
right. Oh, okay.
13 was relevant.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we were moving in a more relevant direction. This one would be better than 13, but is it...
I know, I'm
the
just
point?
kidding. I'm just kidding.
But anyway, and Nine Lives was also... And Taste of India was picked, so I agree with that. There was a little controversy over the album art, apparently. The original cover, which you guys didn't see, is of a Hindu god with a cat face, kind of like the cat face of the new one, and she's dancing on top of snakes, and a lot of Hindus found it offensive. So they had to change it to the cover that they have today.
Because it's a Hindu god, or it's because the Hindu god's dancing on snakes?
Well, because the Hindu god has a cat face. That's what they're not approving of.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Indians are weird.
What
Well,
do you mean, man?
I mean, it's like if Jesus...
If
you
Jesus
put
had a cat face.
on
Jesus
Jesus.
had a cat face, 0 fucks given.
Well, I'm saying
Zero
maybe some
fucks.
Christians would be a little up in arms about it. I don't know. And the Hindu culture is a little more conservative than Western culture, so that might have been part of it. Excuse me. Actually, it's funny. Outside of the U.S., there was an extra track, actually an extra 2 tracks, Falling Off and Fall Together, which are not on the album that we listened to because I have the U.S. version.
What are they called?
They are Falling Off and Fall Together, and one of them, actually, Joe Perry is the lead vocals in. He always gets one song on every album that he's the lead vocals of, and it's always the worst song. Because
And this one got cut, apparently.
It did, and it was only available in Japan and Brazil and Europe.
Just got it off of mp3school.com.
Well, there you go. You can listen to that.
Well, one thing about this album, I fucking love Steven Tyler in every single song. I thought he fucking
did.
killed it
He
in
is.
every song.
I like the harmonica in Nine Lives. I like... Actually, anytime there's harmonica, like Crash. Doesn't Crash have harmonica in it, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I
it has.
believe
It's
it.
very heavy harmonica. I love his harmonica playing. I think he does really good stuff with that. He's
Mm.
he's a very talented piano player as well, but I don't think that was showcased in this album. But there are other albums that it's a little stronger, where you hear that. And I think, is that everything?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Scott's next.
Scott,
My turn.
introduce your album.
Okay, so for my first album, I had to pick a Broadway cast recording because I love show tunes, and I know these 3 guys don't really listen to show tunes that much. Angelo listens to show tunes a little bit. Chris Garrett, nope, they're lame-os. So I had to go Broadway. So I picked something that I thought that they would enjoy. So I picked the Book of Mormon, which is written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone, who are also the writers and creators of South Park.
South Park.
Yes, hilarious. And they have an obsession with Mormons. I think I first heard about this musical on on actually a film podcast, and they played one of the best songs from the musical, Hasadiga Evil Y, which is one of the funniest songs.
Excuse me, sir, but what exactly does that phrase mean?
Well, let's see. Ibawai means God, and Hasadiga means fuck you. So I guess in English it would be fuck you, God.
Hasadiga Ibawai.
What? When God fucks you in their butt.
Hasadiga Ibawai.
Fuck God right back in his cunt.
Hasadiga Ibawai.
And it's a made-up language, so those words don't actually mean anything, but that's that. And so I bought the album, and I listened to it like thousands of times because I fell in love with it, basically. And I found out that the music is the Trey Parker and Matt Stone also wrote the music with this guy Robert Lopez, and his name is on the album, and he's also the guy that wrote the music for Avenue Q, which is also one of my favorite musicals. So they have like a little connection there. And this one, Book of Mormon actually, Trey Parker won the Tony for directing. The girl that sings Salt Lake City won a Tony. I forget her name, but she made a great speech, and it won Best Musical.
The Bee Speech.
And it won Best Musical for 2012.
Yes.
Best
Musical and Best Book. The book one as well.
and Best Book. So I am itching to hear what you have to say about this.
Well, let me get my non-existent notes out real quick. Okay, there we go. I actually did. I really liked it. I do like show tunes, so I was the easiest of the audience to get. But I love when a Broadway musical is funny. Like I like Avenue Q, and I like when they incorporate that. And I felt like it was very strong. I was surprised at the creators of South Park. I mean, they're smart guys, but they usually write, South Park stuff. They write like kind of very. I mean, it was a raunchy show, but it was more than that. It was I thought it was a very concise story. It really pointed out certain parts of Mormonism, but it was never too like abusive, I guess is the thing. I was surprised at the restraint that they had.
Yeah, it wasn't mean at any time.
Yeah, it was kind of like poking fun at worst.
Now let's hear from these two.
Oh, I fucking love this album.
Oh!
I fucking love
This
this.
is a rare occasion.
I think with show tunes, I think it has to be funny, or else I just can't.
Can't do it.
I can't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was funny. I'm gonna disagree with you and how they didn't have, or they restrained themselves. I thought it was classic Trey Parker, Matt Stone. Like, I'm gonna go rape a child kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of baby rape jokes.
Classic
There's
South Park antics right there. Favorite songs were "Turn It Off," "Making Things Up Again," and "Spooky Mormon Hell Dream."
Okay, Spooky Mormon Hell Dream is pretty awesome.
That's
It's got some like heavy ass like riffs in the solos and everything.
Oh,
It's crazy.
It's like dark and funny at the same time.
You don't expect
Yeah.
a lot of rock in a musical either, but they
Yeah,
had a lot
had
of
it.
they had a lot of electric guitar and shit in there. It was good.
I can't. I don't have anything bad to say about this.
Oh my god!
This is a rare
I'm happy.
occasion.
I'm so happy.
That was a good choice, Scott. I think you knew that. I'm going to pick a show tunes, but I'm going to pick show tunes that a wide audience would enjoy. Which I think is why it won the Tony, because just everybody can get into that, even if you're not a big show tunes person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of the album, Chris?
I also really loved it. It was. I was listening to it just a little while ago, and I could not stop laughing.
Oh, it's
Like-
hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Like I was sitting there, just kind of clutching my sides because they were in pain because I was laughing so much.
I particularly liked Baptize Me because pretty much the whole song, you think it's an innuendo for sex, but then he ends up just baptizing her.
Right.
Which is perfect.
All right, I liked Hasadiga Ibawai, Spooky Mormon Hell Dream, and I Believe.
I believe that's a great song.
I love how the one guy is he's actually gay, but he just keeps suppressing his feelings.
Yes,
and
and turn
turning
it off.
That is perfect. And it's like, no, I wasn't the one who was having the gay thoughts, and it's like, it's working.
Spooky Mormon Hell Dream's great. It's just like the idea that he's having a nightmare because he stole a glazed donut when he was a child.
Yes.
And like this is the worst thing he's ever done. And then there's also like just some really dark shit going on where they're talking about who was it, the murderer? He's like one of the lines is I
Jeffrey
killed a
Dahmer.
guy. Jeffrey Dahmer. He says
The guy that killed people and then ate their
I
corpses.
killed a guy and raped his corpse.
And he's
yes.
like, I stole a donut. I'm worse than all of you
Exactly.
guys. Or no, I left my friend.
Yeah, he left his friend.
So I'm
and this
I'm
guy's
more-
like,
What
I
else did it
stabbed
have?
a guy.
Did it have Hitler? Didn't
It
it
had
have
it had
Johnny
Hitler.
Cochran.
Johnny Cochran.
That was the best. I got
OJ free.
That was the best. I think that was my favorite.
There are tons of good jokes in that. Oh my gosh.
The one where Jesus calls him a dick.
Oh, that one's good too. It's like, I can't believe Jesus called me a dick. Oh, and then they sing Jesus hates you, this we know, because he just called you a dick. That was just hilarious.
Love it.
I forget which song it was, but one of them had my favorite line ever in a musical. Stop singing and do something about this.
Yes, that was isn't that the second song? You and Me, but mostly me. I think that's the one that one is
That's
in.
not the second
Or it might
song.
be. Oh no, 2x2.
Yeah.
It's one of these two.
You
I
and
think
Me.
it's definitely early.
Stop singing about it and do it.
Yes.
Just that was.
Oh yes, that's You and Me.
Oh,
2x2
yeah.
is awesome because
I
like his
knew it was
favorite
you and
place
me.
is Orlando.
That's the best.
Orlando,
And the singing was really strong. I feel like they had good casting as
Yes,
well.
definitely.
I definitely like to see the show because
Yeah,
I
seriously,
feel like
this just makes me want to watch the show.
Really?
Yeah,
oh my
I
know,
god.
it's really good.
We got to
We
go
were
see the
looking up. We were
show.
looking
We
up
do.
tickets. Me and Angela. We were looking.
we
up
were
tickets.
looking up.
What?
The closest show is Washington D.C., but
Or
that's
Pittsburgh.
not even or Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh one is announced, but the only tickets that are available are $150.
Wow.
And the one in D.C., the tickets aren't even available yet, but it's at the Kennedy Center, so they're probably going to be expensive.
if we get
that's
nosebleeds.
the on tour one.
We get
It is
nosebleeds.
on
We can go see
Broadway,
it.
but the Broadway musical is literally sold out years in advance. Like you have
That's
to you have to
crazy.
reserve your ticket for like a year or two in advance.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But we can definitely look into it, and if P3E does go, we will have our full review on here. And with that, do we have anything else, gentlemen? Closing thoughts on Book of Mormon?
raping a baby.
And his scrotum still has maggots.
Yes.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
line in the whole thing.
The last line of the musical. I love it. I love it
surprised.
so much.
I'm a little surprised the Tonys gave it so many awards. I mean, it is a great musical,
It's
but
top-notch.
I'm surprised
It
they
is
didn't
great.
say like snub their nose, because sometimes the Tonys are known to do that. They're known to be very.
it's a
like,
weird thing. Like
pretentious.
comedies are able to win more so at the Tonys than like
Yeah.
the Oscars or something. Like comedy is not really big at the Oscars, but comedies at Tonys are pretty big.
Yeah, I have noticed that.
They
If
played
we-
the opening scene at the Tony Awards this
Yeah.
year.
If we had more time, I'd go into, saying, like, I wonder what it is that, comedy and film is harder
Yeah.
to translate over than in, like, musicals. Because actually, if you look at, like, the most recent film comedies, they actually have not been up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be part of it. So, our last but not least album, we have Chris's album. You can introduce it for us.
Yeah, let me get to the... Alright, so I gave them a Japanese album.
Yes, J-pop.
And I promise I won't give you this hard J-pop in the future, but...
Is there, like, what is there a category this is called? Is this, like,
No, this is just straight J-pop.
just straight up?
Alright, I gave them Rockbound Neighbors by Nana Mizuki.
あげるよハッピーハッピーゴーラ届けときめきオーラララほらリアルな私を見てシャイニーシャイニーゴーラ歌をピュアなメロディーなな今眩しい風の中で大好きすぎて空回りだけど
Album. And on the day it was released, it was the top selling album. On the week it was released, it was the second top selling album, according to the Oricon daily charts and weekly charts, which I honestly have no idea what the hell they are, but
Only a distributor in.
Yeah, it's probably like
It's-
Billboard.
yeah,
It's like Billboard for Japan.
Yeah.
yeah, but basically the thing was that Nana Mizuki, before being a singer, she's actually a voice actress, which is fairly common in Japan. Some singers will get their start as voice actors, and a lot of the singers that are voice actors are more widely known in America than the ones that aren't.
Yeah.
Okay,
What voice stuff? What voice work has she done? Well, I don't want to put you on the spot.
Okay.
No. She. One of the songs in there, Synchro Gazer, she was actually the lead voice in the anime that was the opening for. One of them, anyway.
So why did you pick this album?
Yes.
Out of all the
what was
albums?
your reasoning behind that?
Because a lot of the songs in there were some of her more recent stuff, and some of the songs and some of my favorite songs by her, and they were all put into one album, and I'm like, okay, this album is going to be good because I loved all of these when they were singles, and now they're in one album, so I'll have these guys listen to them.
So it's kind of like a compilation.
I like to
In
call this.
in Japan. They do things a bit differently with singles and albums. In America, what I've noticed, they might have like one single from the album
Yeah, one or two
out
is
before
usually the
the
common.
album comes out. But like, there were like 3 or 4 songs in this album that were singles before the album was released.
Mm-hmm.
They have their single with a singer like this who was a voice actress, and a lot of her stuff is anime openings.
Yeah.
Her stuff is singles before it goes into the albums because they want to release the anime openings when the anime is airing.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's just a different process.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that brings in some influence. While I was listening to it, I like the intro at the very beginning on the first song. It kind of like brings it in. There's a big orchestra. How do you say that word, Scott?
Orchestra?
Orchestral. It's an orchestral
orchestral.
opening. There we go. I couldn't get that out for something. But my favorite song was track 12, which I'm going to try to pronounce it, but I'm going to do it horrible. It's like Kizekski no Melodia. It's track 12 on this album, people. Look it up. I really liked it because it had organ in it, and it just made me think of Ben. So I liked that one. It was, and they actually used the organ really well. I enjoyed the sound that was produced by that.
I think when I was listening to that, I didn't listen to the whole song because I didn't actually like it. I'm pretty sure that was one of the slower ones.
Yeah, I think it was, and I just grabbed my attention because the organ music was in it. So I just enjoyed that.
I don't remember any of these songs being slow. Maybe it's because of the speed at which he was singing, or like I don't know.
Yeah, they were all very fast paced. I mean, even the quote unquote slow songs were still very fast. I feel like even if I knew the language, it would be hard to keep up with her. Like she was. I mean, maybe I don't know if maybe Japanese people.
Japanese language.
Yeah, maybe it's just a faster language, or maybe it's just because I don't know it, and so it sounds fast to me. I bet we sound like we're talking very fast.
Japanese people feel about our language too.
No, it's very fast.
That's how everyone feels about everyone else's language. Are you
I
kidding
think.
me?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So I think that might have been partly to do with it. But yeah, it was definitely a different experience. Like it was very out of the norm for me. I don't usually listen to J-pop. The only J-pop I've ever listened to is if I watch an anime, which is very rare. I've watched like Soul Eater, and that's it.
I made you watch some of Madoka Magica.
Oh, and some Madoka Magica. So I've seen 2. So that
episode 3 when Mammy gets her head bitten off.
So that's my
when they stopped.
That's my only exposure to the to J-pop. So Scott, what'd you have to say?
All right, I like to call this album Night of 1,000 Anime Openings, because like every single fucking song I was just imagining as the beginning of an anime. I guess because I'm racist. I don't know. I just like the
Well, apparently a lot of them were anime
apparently,
openings,
and
so.
like I wrote down in my notes that like she seemed to be making a lot of like just silly noises with her voice. Like it wasn't like actual just like straight up like she was trying to like belt out songs. She just kind of was doing like a lot of silly things with her voice. And I guess that's because she was like a voice actress. She knows how to do a lot of stuff with her voice. I liked some of the instrumental stuff in most of the songs, but the language barrier, I just couldn't get past it. It's just like I couldn't like differentiate most of the songs because of the language barrier, because I didn't know what it, I didn't know what it said. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what anything meant.
Especially because it's not a romance language. Like I feel like if it was at least like maybe like French or Spanish or something, like then we'd be a little closer. But just because it's such a wide gap, it's very hard to get into. But I like what Chris said. Chris, you had a good quote where you said you kind of have to look at the voice as another instrument when you're listening to this kind of music.
Yeah.
Because you just see it as like sounds.
I liked Lovely Fruit.
Yes,
I
the
thought that
sample
was
at the
good.
beginning was really cool.
Reverie Fruit.
Reverie Fruit. It was like a swing dance, kind of like big band style.
It was very big band.
I thought that was cool. I liked the big band music with her voice. Yeah, language barrier hard to get past. I thought most of them were fun. I wrote down that if I spoke Japanese, I would probably sing along to these songs because they sound like they're pretty fun to sing.
They seem very catchy. Like
They sound like they're
they
fun.
definitely stuck in my mind afterwards. I definitely was hearing them after I'd.
And then my other favorite was Happy Go Round.
Yes, Happy Go
Because
Round.
it was so fucking silly. It was so silly. And like the way it was just like happy, happy, go round, shiny, shiny. I was picturing it like as the opening of like an old multi-camera sitcom. Like I was picturing like Laverne and Shirley like riding a bike to like the sound of this song. Like that's what I was picturing in my mind.
Hilarious.
It sounded so much like the opening of a Full House episode or something. It was crazy. So I thought that one was fun, and I don't know. Some of them I wrote down Sonic background music. It sounded like I was playing
Yes.
a Sonic level.
Very video game. Like I feel like
Yes.
all of them could be in video games as well. I don't know. Like, is it? I guess the one question is this characteristic? Since this is our only exposure, is this characteristic of pretty much Japanese music? Like current, I guess modern Japanese music.
Not really.
Not really. So there's
It's characteristic of her stuff and some other artists, like another one that I know that sounds a lot like this is Minori Chihara. She sounds a lot like that, but some of the other people I listen to aren't as much like that.
Oh, so we've only scraped the surface
Yeah.
of the Japanese musicality, I guess. But it was an interesting experience.
Yes,
Definitely.
I also like the last one. I thought that one was slower. I thought she got to show off a bit of more of her
Yeah.
voice in the last one.
Which she does have a voice. She definitely has.
She does.
Very
I
nice
mean, she
voice.
gets worked. So those three were my favorite. Every other one tied for my
And-
least favorite because I didn't know what the fuck was going on in any of them. I couldn't
And-
understand them. I can't decide whether or not I like something if I don't understand it.
I keep saying end. So
Garrett,
Garrett, this
throw
is,
down.
This is about. Let's see what Garrett has to
I
say.
hated this album
Wow,
with a burning
flat out.
passion.
Hated it. So Chris and Garrett, they didn't like each other's albums.
It's like two people are standing next to me and they're taking swings at my head with a baseball bat.
Oh wow,
Holy shit.
brutal.
It's
That's how
brutal.
chaotic this
It's just
whole
like the
album
bear
is.
Jew from Inglourious Bastards was just smacking you.
I
upside
like
the
It's
that-
two bear Jews sitting next to me with wooden bats.
I like that word chaotic because I feel like that is
It's
very
too
characteristic.
chaotic. I can understand chaos, but I think it's too chaotic.
That's true.
It's
And
a-
I don't think there's a single memorable song from the album, if I'm being honest.
I just remember having
I
a-
just
I thought
listen.
you would have liked the opening for Synchro Gazer at least.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I wrote down for the Synchro Gazer one. I said my note was I found Garrett's favorite for Synchro Gazer because it sounded
yet
like
he
something.
I
he was
can't
like,
remember it.
You can't
if I'm
remember
being
it?
honest.
It was-
The
it
only
was-
thing I can
Which
remember
track was
is
that?
It sounded
Scott?
very EDM like when it started.
Yeah, which track was that? Because
It was 10.
Oh yeah, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. I didn't write it down, so I can't prove it. But I did that cross my mind.
I think I only really liked the introduction to the first song, and then after that, it was just a
You guys like that? Yeah.
like that.
painful decline.
Wow, painful.
Yeah, if I'm being honest,
it sounded literally.
It was
like
it
a
was
Sonic
definitely hard to get through.
soundtrack.
I feel like maybe if I had heard like one song mixed in with some, like I need like a buffer. Like I need to get used to it. It's like getting into a pool. You can't just jump. We kind of just jumped in, and it turned out to be very very cold.
I just didn't. The one thing that I really couldn't like was the combination of the piano and the heavy metal riffs. I think it's
That
not.
was interesting.
I
That was
didn't-
definitely
I
very
thought it
very
just
diverse.
ruined. I didn't know what to feel about the songs.
Didn't know what to feel. Wait, this is coming from Garrett, who says there is no deep feeling, no meaning
What?
in songs.
Well, he has feelings. He just
Oh,
doesn't-
feeling. But there's no meaning. That's right. I'm sorry. I don't want to misquote
Yeah.
you. There's no meaning in
You
music.
find your own meaning.
Find your own meaning. Okay.
That's true. I guess.
But I feel like Crash just tells you the meaning. It's like I'm coming.
Crash
da-
just laid it out. It had
I'm
a very
coming
clear
down,
meaning.
and
Because there was
I'm
a
gonna
line where he was just
crash.
like, I think he said drugs like 5 times in a row. He was just like drugs, drugs, drugs,
well, yeah,
drugs.
getting high, smoking with Esmeralda, shit
yeah.
like that. Yeah, I will say Aerosmith makes a lot of like literature and fable references and a lot of fantasy.
I guess if I am being honest, I said that Lovely Fruit and the last one were also my favorites, but I can really only remember Happy Go Round. And it's because I just sang Happy Go Round for the past couple of days.
I like the mix in of English. Like, is that a thing in
Yeah, that
Japan?
is a thing.
They like to use English in their.
That is very much a thing.
How did you feel about Happy Go Round, Garrett?
I can't remember what it was.
It was the one that went like
I
this.
can't remember.
Happy, happy, go round.
I can't remember. Couldn't tell you.
Okay, so this was interesting. Now to wrap up the Oh, wait, do you have one more thing to say?
No,
here?
I was going to...
Oh, okay. To wrap up the podcast, we're going to all go around and say which one that wasn't our own we would add to our own music collection. I would say I'd probably add the Book of Mormon soundtrack. I mean, surprise, surprise. But I did like that one. Scott, which album would you probably add to your own collection?
I got to go with the White Light mix. I got to go White Light mix here.
Oh, baby.
I liked it. I loved it.
I would go with Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon.
So Book
Good
of Mormon
so I think
wins.
Book of Mormon wins.
Big winner.
What do you win?
You win.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I don't know. You win a signed copy of my notes. There you go.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Pristine condition.
How about I win this? I get to do 2 albums next
No.
time.
All right.
Fine, guys.
And to finish this out, should we give them a little taste of what's coming up? So I think my album choice is going to be Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. What,
Oh, boy.
Scott? What do you think?
I'm
Mine's
actually looking forward to that.
it's either going to be Tenacious D or Bare Naked Ladies. Get ready.
Okay.
I'm actually still struggling with my... Well, no, wait. I'm struggling for next week's.
Oh, but what's this week coming up?
This week is going to be Clarity by Zed.
Oh, yes. This was picked by our friend
My good
Keaton.
friend
Our good
Who's
friend
a-
Keaton.
He's an EDM
He's
freak.
very into
He
EDM,
likes
so
stuff that
I'll
I
be
think
excited
is
to
fucking-
listen to that.
Ooh.
I actually like Zed. I've heard some of their remixes, particularly because Lady
His.
Gaga does a lot of stuff
His.
with... Oh, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Is it a group? Is it a person?
Yeah, man.
Who knows? But anyway, I've heard he did a Lady Gaga remix, and that was really good, so I'm excited for that. Okay, Chris, what do you think?
I don't know. It's either going to be more J-pop that's less chaotic than this, and
Yeah, I think that'd be a good move.
I think I showed Angelo some of it in
Yeah.
the car earlier, and Garrett might actually
Garrett
like
might.
this one
I think
a bit.
Garrett might enjoy this one.
Or I might do some J-Rock.
Ooh, that
J-Rock.
sounds interesting.
Could you do some J Christian rock?
I don't know because
Just
I
get
don't
out.
know what they're saying.
Get the fuck out of here.
For all I know,
Christian
it could
rock
be.
is bad in any language.
Actually, no. I have like 1 or 2 bands that are like that on my iPod, but
Christ is God.
I don't know. Every time
they never actually.
No,
say,
they don't. They say it's very like
The
it's
good
very
ones-
roundabout,
the
very
good
bright,
ones
very
never
just cheery.
The good ones actually never say.
Like Red.
The good ones actually
Red?
never like explicitly
Or the
talk about
script.
religion or.
The script is a very big
The script?
religious.
I met my friend.
Really?
Not
yeah,
going
they're
to say
very,
his name, but
I
it
don't know if
starts
they're
with
particularly
J.
Christian rock, but they're definitely very faith based.
One of the ones that I like for Christian rock is 1,000-Foot Crutch.
You know, I feel like I've heard of them, but I probably ignored them because they're Christian rock. Nothing against them. I just feel.
I
like
want
they're
to. I want to
just
see
boring.
Chris give us an album, and it's like J rock or whatever, and we put it in. It's Jewish rock.
That would be hilarious. But anyway, so we're gonna wrap this
It's
up.
just like...
This was a great podcast. I think we're getting to learn more. We'll have links to either the music if it's free to download, or links to where you can get
Or if it's on Spotify.
where you can get the if it's on Spotify, we can just give you that. So we'll at least give you like a page with all the names of the albums if you want to listen to them yourself. Leave all your information in the comments and check us out next time. P3E is out.